With 195 countries in the world, it's not surprising that they don't all get along. I struggle to name 55 people that I like, let alone 195 countries. Like me though, not everybody likes their friends, or in the case of countries, their allies. So you end up with a complicated web of alliances that looks like this. In the case of Serbia, is non-alliance a benefit or a detriment in the world today? Follow along for a discussion with my friend Alexander Bastik about the situation in Serbia today. So where are we here?
In front of the House of Flower and the Museum of May the 25th. So why Museum 25th? We believe that was the birthday of President Tito of Yugoslavia, long-term president, so almost 30 years.
Oh, that was his residence right there?
No, that was his rest place. This is where he was buried over there.
Oh.
So you know, the President Tito's funeral was the biggest social event in the 20th century. Almost 100 state representatives visits
his resting place.
His resting place, yes, over there in the year 1980. So, and how its story goes. No, he was a very controversial character, you know, and his biography, the details are not so visible enough, clear enough. Of course, he was a double agent or triple agent, you know, of the Comintern agent. He was participating in the Spanish War in the late 30s. So, but a strong anti-fascist character as well. He's the leader of Yugoslavian movement called Partisan Movement, General Secretary or Secretary General of the Communist Party. But after 1948, smart move to turn right, U-turn, and then became something what you like to call a leader, one of the leaders of non-alignment group of nations. So why we strongly believe, we Serbs, in the idea of non-alignment? Because President Tito, along with the presidents of the Indian as well as Egypt and Castro and the other presidents, and we're speaking about almost 100 to 120 countries worldwide and 17 support countries. That means that almost 137 countries worldwide strongly stand together because they don't support any bloc, not Soviet Union, but they're not the Western, let's say NATO-led countries. So it means those one pro-Western civilization. So the idea was to not support anyone, to be independent, to support the freedom. An idea, non-colonialism, so the freedom and the non-racist. So that's why the non-racism is a strong idea of non-alignment group of nations. So that's why today in Serbia we don't have word for racism anymore. Not anymore. We never have that word.
So in your language you don't have a word for it?
We don't have that word. So Yugoslavia has a great cultural exchange, and with the Southeast Asia countries, all African countries and South American countries, it was defined perfectly, especially after the Havana meeting back then in 1978. So yes, Tito was on that meeting as well. So yes, we were one of the leaders. And today, when I meet people from Africa, from Southeast Asia, from the Northern America, they're strongly, they know the stories about Belgrade, one of the leaders of the non-alignment group of nations. So we share that. That's empathy for the non-alignment countries. So we are visa-free today for the most of those countries worldwide.
So if Serbia still believes in this non-alliance, how is that going to work for you guys to get into NATO?
I'm not sure we're going to get into the NATO. Even we have multiple exercises within NATO, joint forces, like practice together, let's say, the training courses together. But our goal is European Union, but not the NATO necessarily.
But not NATO, but European Union.
Yes, the problem
mostly for travel and jobs and stuff like that.
etc., etc. Because economy is on the West.
Right.
But we believe we are the good guys because we have strong connections with the Southeast Asia, African, and South American. That's why we are visa-free for all these countries. And, yes, and that was one of the Tito's great achievements.
Yes.
There are some negative aspects as well of the Tito's legacy, but this one was the truly very good one. Exchange programs, students exchange, and of course our economy works perfectly in those days because we get cheap oil from the Middle East. And so it means that our product was quite good. So the modest product and with the reasonable price.
Yes.
And selling to the other parts of the world. So we're trading, let's say, food for gold,
Right.
food for oil,
Yeah.
and textile for tanks. So
Yeah.
where were the good guys?
Yeah.
Where were the good guys?
Are the Serbs still upset about the breakdown of Yugoslavia, or do you think?
Yes, it's nostalgia. Yes, probably. And then
Yeah.
sometimes we're upset, and it's frustrating. It's
Yeah.
frustrating because we now understand, and we need to look ourselves. Of course, there is no more Yugoslavia. We need to continue forward.
Yeah.
Yes, to see what are the benefits from the European Union, or
Right.
to be neutral. What's the way though?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Let's wait a little bit.
Right, and
So
see.
yes.
Okay.
So let's see how it's going to be.
All right. Well,
Yes.
thanks for talking about that, guys. I hope you appreciate the conversation about the non-alliance movement, which is almost unheard of today, and it's very unfortunate what happened to Yugoslavia. I never thought I would be here ever, and this is awesome. It's a beautiful sight.